press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Namaste children, let us continue with another topic, evolution. This is 7th chapter in your NCERT. So in this chapter we are going to discuss origin of life, theories, evolution of life forms theories, evidences for evolution, then adaptive radiation, biological evolution, mechanism of evolution, Arde-Weinberg principle, and brief account of evolution and origin and evolution of man. So in this class we will discuss about origin of life and evolution of life forms theories. So we know that evolution means what? It is nothing but it has hidden potentialities that we have to take out and we have to read the things. So evolution is nothing but the term evolution was given by Herbert Spencer. So evolution means reveal hidden potential. Reveal hidden potentialities or unfold. So the evolution, the term was given by Herbert Spencer. So the evolution means reveal hidden potentialities or unfold. So the evolutionary biology means, it is the study of history of life forms on this earth. Study of history of life forms on earth. So evolutionary biology is nothing but study of history of life on earth. So how we can define this evolution? So evolution, it is defined as slow, continuous, irreversible process and it is natural phenomenon. Which occurs in flora and fauna. So evolution we can define as that it is a slow and continuous process, and what all the changes occurs in flora and fauna, they are irreversible. They are irreversible and that is a natural process. So Charles Darwin, he told evolution is descent with modifications. Descent with modifications means from generation to generation we see the changes, slow changes that occurs that took millions of years. So that is nothing but descent with modifications. From one generation to another we see the changes. So what we see, the complex life forms on this earth, they all evolved from simple forms by gradual changes in them which took millions of years. So this is about the evolution. So evolutionary biology is the study of history of life forms on the earth. So we can define it as a slow, continuous, irreversible process, and it is a natural phenomenon. So according to the Charles Darwin, so evolution is nothing but descent with modifications. So we all studied in our 9th and 10th classes about Big Bang Theory. So the origin of universe is nearly around 20 billion years ago. So BYA means 20 billion years ago according to Big Bang Theory. According to Big Bang Theory, which was given by Abbe Lemaitre. What this Big Bang Theory tells us? So it tells us universe before it was a single large concentrated matter, single large concentrated matter that underwent thermonuclear explosion. That underwent thermonuclear explosion, giving rise to this explosion of this through many cosmic materials that we call it as nebulae. They are cosmic materials. So before the universe, in the universe, there was a single large concentrated matter. When it explodes, universe expanded. When this large dense entity explodes, that results in expansion of the universe. It threw out many cosmic materials that are called nebulae. After this explosion, when the universe expands, temperatures start coming down. That led to the formation of hydrogen and helium after some time. Then gradually when the temperatures coming down, the gases starts condensing and they form a galaxies. Nebulae, they are nothing but galaxies. They form a galaxies. So these nebulae organize themselves to form a group of stars called galaxies. These nebulae, they organized themselves to form a group of stars called galaxies, and these galaxies contain stars, clouds of gases and dust. So the galaxies contain stars, clouds of gases and dust. So in that our galaxy is Milky Way galaxy, so which is also called Akash Ganga. So in this Milky Way galaxy, Sun is one of the millions of stars. In this Milky Way galaxy, Sun is one of the millions of stars, with the Sun along with its orbiting planets. And their natural satellites forms solar system. They forms solar system. So Sun along with its orbiting satellites and their Sun along with its orbiting planets and their natural satellites, it forms a solar system. So once the solar system is formed, so then we saw that formation of Earth. So Earth formed 4.5 billion years ago. So Earth formed 4.5 billion years ago. So that is about our universe. First the universe forms, then the formation of galaxies. In that galaxy we have our Earth. So this theory, Big Bang theory, which tells about the formation of universe, was given by Abel Amateur. So according to this theory, universe was formed 20 billion years back or ago. So according to that, there was a large dense entity or concentrated matter that exploded. Thermonuclear explosion of this gave rise to many cosmic material. It threw out many cosmic materials called nebulae. So when it explodes, universe has expanded. So when it expands, the temperature start coming down. So after some time, helium and hydrogen was formed. And as the temperature came down, the gases starts condensing under gravitation and they form a galaxies. So the nebulae are also there. When we threw out the cosmic materials called nebulae, they are also condensed to form a group of stars called galaxies. So these galaxies contain stars, clouds of gas and dust. In that galaxies, our galaxy is Milky Way galaxy, which is also called Akashganga. In that we see Sun. Sun is one of the millions of stars which were present in Milky Way galaxy. So Sun, along with its orbiting planets and their natural satellites, they form a solar system. In that Earth was one. So Earth formed nearly around 4.5 billion years ago. Understood? Then we'll move to conditions of primitive Earth. Conditions of primitive Earth or early Earth. So we know that Earth was formed nearly about 4.5 billion years ago. It is BYA. So the atmosphere which was present on the early Earth is called reducing atmosphere. We saw reducing atmosphere because there was no free molecular oxygen. The type of atmosphere is called reducing atmosphere, and we saw the presence of water vapor, methane, ammonia and carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide which were released by molten mass of Earth. So water vapor, methane, ammonia and carbon dioxide were released. They covered the surface of the Earth, which was released by molten mass present on the Earth. So the UV rays acts on water molecule. So that is why the water was present in the form of water vapor, means because of high temperature. Due to the high temperature during the early condition, water was present in the form of water vapor. So this It is acted by UV rays and that give rise to the, it splits H2O into hydrogen and molecular oxygen. As hydrogen is lighter, it escapes and this oxygen combines with methane and also it combines with ammonia to form water, carbon dioxide and other molecules. Water, carbon dioxide and other molecules. So like this, one day the ozone layer was formed around the earth. Ozone layer was formed and once the temperatures start coming down, water start reaching the earth in the form of rain. So as temperature decreases, water start reaching the earth in the form of rain, and that is torrential rains, continuous rain. So that also helps to bring down the temperature of the earth. Once the temperature came down, the water start retaining on the surface of the earth, that is oceans, in the form of oceans, and the life was originated in water, that is in ocean. So like this, the life was originated nearly 500 million years after the formation of earth. As temperature decreases, water reached earth in the form of rain and retained on earth. In the form of rain and retained on earth. Understood? So after that, once the water start retaining on the earth, that is like oceans, life originated in oceans. The life originated in water and life so origin of life occurs See, once the universe formed, then we saw the formation of solar system. So in the solar system and earth was formed nearly 4.5 billion years ago. So during that time, what we see on the surface of earth is reducing atmosphere. Why? Because there was no free molecular oxygen. So we saw the presence of gases like water vapor, methane, ammonia and carbon dioxide, which were released by the molten mass of earth. These were covered the earth's surface. An ultraviolet ray splits water vapor into hydrogen and molecular oxygen. As hydrogen was lighter, it escaped. Oxygen combines with methane and ammonia, give rise to water, carbon dioxide and other molecules. So like this, one day that led to the formation of ozone layer, which covered the surface of earth. And day by day, as the temperature of earth was coming down, the water start reaching earth in the form of rain. That is torrential rains, means continuous rain. So that also helps in decreasing the temperature of earth. Once the temperature of the earth came down, water start retaining on the earth in the form of oceans. So life appeared or originated in water. So that tells that origin of life is seen in water nearly 500 millions after the formation of earth. So this is about the conditions of primitive earth. Then we'll move with the theories of origin of life. So origin of life is nothing but biopoiesis. That is, origin of life on primitive earth is called Protobiogenesis or biopoiesis. So we have many theories, but we are going to discuss in that theory of panspermia. Next, theory of spontaneous generation. Theory of this is spontaneous generation is also called abiogenesis theory. Then we'll discuss theory of biogenesis, then theory of chemical evolution of origin of life. These four theories we are going to discuss. So what is protobiogenesis or biopoiesis? It's nothing but origin of life on primitive earth. So under this we have many theories of origin of life. There are theories of origin of life. So in this we have many theories are there, but we are going to discuss only four theories. So theory of panspermia, or it is also called Cosmosoic theory, then theory of spontaneous generation, and theory of biogenesis, and theory of chemical evolution of origin of life. So we'll discuss one by one now. Theory of panspermia or Cosmosoic theory. It was given by Richter. Richter. So what this theory tells us, the spores or panspermia or cosmozoa, they reached Earth's surface from the other planet. They are transferred from the other planet. So this panspermia or cosmozoas, they are transferred to the Earth from other planets. They are transferred to the Earth from other planets. After reaching the Earth, they gave rise to living organisms. What this theory tells us, the panspermia or cosmozoas or spores, they are transferred to the Earth from other planets. Once they reach the Earth's surface, they gave rise to living organisms. So this theory, that's why it is also called extraterrestrial origin of life. That is about the panspermia theory. Then the other theory is spontaneous generation. It is also called abiogenesis theory. It was proposed by Aristotle and supported by Van Helmont. So this theory was proposed by Aristotle. It was supported by Van Helmont. What this theory tells us means, this tells that living organisms have arose from non-living things continuously and spontaneously. So this theory tells us the living things arise from non-living things continuously and spontaneously. That is nothing but the living things arise from decaying and rotten matters like straw and mud, But this theory was disproved by biogenesis theory. Understood? So this theory, what the spontaneous generation or A means from the non-living. So this abiogenesis theory tells us the living organisms have arisen from non-living things, that is from decaying and rotting substances like straw and mud. But this theory was disproved by biogenesis theory. So next we'll move with theory of biogenesis. So this theory was given by Louis Pasteur, Francisco Redi and Spallanzani. So they did different experiments that proves biogenesis theory and disproves abiogenesis theory. Francisco Redi, what he did, he took cooked flesh. Cooked flesh in one beaker and covered with that with a parchment membrane. Parchment membrane means it tightly covers the beaker. And he took another beaker. In that also he took the same cooked flesh and covered that with muslin cloth. Muslin cloth is little bit thin when compared to this parchment membrane. And another beaker he took and he kept that open. In that also he took cooked flesh. So what he observed means the flies were coming near to this beaker, but inside the beaker he never observed any flies, any larvae. The one which kept open, in that he observed the larvae of flies. He observed the larvae of flies. So by doing this, they told that life is originating from pre-existing life. This theory tells us life is originated from pre-existing life. What the biogenesis theory tells us, life is going to be originated from pre-existing life. As these two beakers were closed, they doesn't allow the entry of flies into the beaker. Agagi, they fail to lay the eggs on this meat, so on this flesh. As this beaker was opened, the flies are able to enter and they lay the eggs. That's why we saw the flies larvae in this beaker. This proves that biogenesis theory, that means life existed, is originated from pre-existing life. Like Spallanzani also did the same type of experiments by using A infusion, and Louis Pasteur disproved abiogenesis theory by conducting an experiment called swan neck flask. So he took yeast and he sterilized that yeast by boiling that. So understood. He took 2 flasks . So in the both the swan neck flask, he took yeast and he killed that yeast by boiling that. After boiling or after killing the yeast, he broke the neck of one flask. He broke the neck of one flask and kept open. So this swan neck nature of this will prevent it, trap the microbes. This type of shape of that flask will trap the microbes. So that's why he never observed life in this beaker. He never observed life in this beaker because this shape was trapping the microbes entering. That's why the flies or any microbes are failed to enter this killed yeast. He observed the life forms which kept opened. So by doing this experiment, they proved biogenesis theory, that is life is originated from pre-existing life, and they disproved abiogenesis theory. But these 3 persons were failed to explain how the first life originated on earth. They told that life is originated from pre-existing life. One life will give rise to another life, but they failed to tell us about how the first life originated on earth. So this is about the theory of biogenesis. Then we'll move with the most accepted theory, that is theory of chemical evolution of origin of life. So this theory was given by Oparin and Haldane. So Oparin from Russia and Haldane from England. What they told means life arises from pre-existing non-living organic molecules like RNA and proteins. What they told? These two scientists told that life arises from pre-existing non-living organic molecules like RNA and proteins. So initially we know that is chemical evolution. Chemical evolution means first the atoms like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, they combine, and after so many years, millions of years, they give rise to inorganic molecules. They give rise to inorganic molecules like methane, ammonia, and these inorganic molecules gives to organic molecules like amino acids, carbohydrates, etc. So that organic molecules give rise to life forms on this earth. That is about the theory given by Oparin and Haldane. What they told? Life arises from pre-existing non-living molecules like RNA and proteins. These organic molecules were formed by inorganic molecules from the carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen. So like this, first the chemical evolution took place. After the chemical evolution, that gave rise to the formation of living organisms on this earth. This was given by Oparin and Haldane. This is called chemogenetic theory antanu heltare. So Oparin Haldane gives us theory that it tells life arises from non-living molecules, non-living organic molecules like RNA and proteins. That is many diverse organic molecules like amino acids, nitrogen bases, sugars, proteins. What they all formed from the inorganic molecules led to the formation of living organisms on this earth. So this chemical evolution theory was proved by experiment which was done by Stanley Miller and Errol Urey. They proved chemical evolution of origin of life which was given by Oparin and Haldane. They set up an experimental setup called spark discharge apparatus. So this is spark discharge apparatus. So which was set up by Stanley Miller and Urey to support the chemical evolution of origin of life. They created primitive condition of earth. In this closed experimental setup, they created primitive atmosphere or reducing atmosphere which was present on the primitive earth. So by boiling water, they introduced here water vapor. So in this spark discharge chamber, by introducing electrodes, tungsten electrodes, so this gives us the electric discharge. So this gives like lightning, it acts like lightning and thundering which was occurring on the primitive earth. So these electrodes also helps to maintain temperature, high temperature, that is nearly 800 degrees Celsius. So to this spark discharge, they are going to water is present in the form of water vapor during that time due to the presence of high temperature, and they introduced methane, ammonia and hydrogen into this sparks discharge chamber, where all these inorganic molecules react each other and they are going to condense and they are collected in trap. So here the water in and outlet is present to condense or to cool down to bring down the temperature. Once the temperature has come down, so the reacted inorganic molecules will give rise to organic molecules. The water droplets will reach the trap which containing organic molecules like amino acids. So that were collected, liquid water was collected in this trap. When we analyze the chemicals present in this trap, they showed that there was a presence of amino acids. There was a presence of amino acids like alanine, aspartic acid and glycine, that is AAG. So he observed the presence of amino acids in this trap. Understood? So what these two scientists did, they set up the experiment. What was told according to the chemical evolution of origin of life. What they told that life originated from non-living molecules, non-living organic molecules. So ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇವರೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, they set up an experimental that is same as that which was present on the primitive earth. So the boiling water introduces water vapor into this chamber, electrodes provides the lightning and thundering effect, and also they helps to maintain high temperature nearly 800 degrees Celsius. To this chamber they will introduce methane, ammonia and hydrogen. After they left this setup for 2 to 3 weeks, after that, during that period, all these inorganic molecules reacted in these conditions and they are condensed, they are cooled and they are collected in trap. So when we analyze the chemicals present in this liquid trap, that shows that presence of amino acids like alanine, aspartic acid and glycine. So this proves the chemical evolution of origin of life. Like this, many scientists also did the same experiment, in that they found sugars, nitrogen bases, pigments. Like that, by doing the experimented repeatedly, the chemical evolution of origin of life was most accepted theory, which tells us origin of life on this earth was from non-living molecules, that is organic molecules. Understood? So initially we see non-cellular form of life was originated, like proteins, carbohydrates, nucleic acids. Nearly 3 billion years back. So that gave, after that we know that these amino acids are bonded each other to form proteins, and all these molecules give rise to unicellular organisms. Once the unicellular organism forms, we know that in first year animal kingdom, unicellular organisms, they start combine cellular aggregation, that is phylum Porifera. Then we saw tissue level, Coelenterata, organ level in phylum Platyhelminths. Like this, unicellular to multicellular evolution occurred from invertebrates to vertebrates. Like this, the evolution of life occurred on this earth. Understood? This is about the spark discharge experiment. So this comes for 3 marks. This setup will come for 3 marks. So non-cellular form of life appeared nearly 3 billion years back, like amino acids and proteins that gave rise to cellular form of life. So the life originated in water. So that means, last conclusion is the life is going to be originated from organic molecules in water medium. So that is about the origin of life. So this diagram will come for 3 marks. So ನೀವು diagram ಹಾಕುವಾಗ boiling water, it is very important. ನೀವು ಇದು mention ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ you will get 0 marks, and this ratio will be 2:2:1. That is methane will be methane, hydrogen, ammonia. The gas which we introduced into this spark discharge chamber will be in this ratio 2:2:1. Competitive exam alli they may ask like this 2:1:2. So ratio hegidru kuda you have to see that CH4 is 2, 1 is ammonia and 2 is hydrogen. So you have to see this. Understood? So always methane and hydrogen will be in the 2 ratio and ammonia will be in the 1 ratio. So the odd is there. So 3 is 1. These are 4, 2 are even. So ನೀವು ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಈಸಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So the gases should be introduced in the 2:2:1. 2 means methane and hydrogen in the 2 ratio and ammonia in 1. So that is about the Stanley-Miller experiment. Understood? So in this class you may get what is spontaneous generation and who disproved the spontaneous generation, and what is biogenesis, who gave this theory and who experimentally proved the chemical evolution of life, chemical evolution of origin of life. So these are all the questions you may get for 1 or 2 marks. What is panspermia theory? But the Stanley-Miller experiment will get for 3 marks. Only the diagrammatic representation they will ask for 3 marks, but you have to be thorough in this. If you forget to write this boiling water, you will get 0 marks. If you forget to write these gases, then you will get 0 marks. Electrodes, everything is very important in this diagram. So in the next class we will discuss about evidences of evolution. Understood? Practice this diagram thoroughly. Thank you.